Welcome to Ciao Bella, hosted by me, Erica Firpo, a travel journalist based in Rome. Each episode of Ciao Bella, I sit down with Italy's creators, contemporary artists and artisans, designers, culinary experts, heritage brands, and innovative aesthetes, and more who are defining and redefining 21st century Italy. Pull up a chair and join in. Hey, welcome back to Ciao Bella. Today I am back in Rome and I'm in the kitchen, but not my kitchen. I am in the kitchen of Retrobottega with one of the partner chefs, Giuseppe Lo Iudice.
Hey, nice to meet you, Erica. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
I did hit record this time. I'm so happy to be here. Retrobottega is one of those, it's actually not one of those restaurants. It is probably Rome's unique restaurant. It's in my opinion, over the past 4 years, it's definitely changed the landscape on the Rome food scene. And I thought I could sit down with you and talk a little bit about Retrobottega, what it is, how it started.
Okay, I will try my best to let you know everything I know about Retrobottega.
Well, first of all, Retrobottega isn't just you.
It's 50% me and 50% my business partner, which is Alessandro Miocchi, and we met about 8 years ago in a restaurant, and we worked together for many years, and then we decided to open Retrobottega, which was and still is a place of communal eating and taking your time to try some dishes and just spend some quality time eating.
So you opened in 2015?
Yeah, at the end of 2015, and which is 4 years ago. Now things changed a little, but at the very beginning, Retrobottega was something where very informal, casual, where you could sit at the chef's counter at the bar and just have a look in the kitchen and see what was happening in the kitchen while eating a plate.
So I'm going to have to qualify that because it wasn't just very simple. It was... And it still is. You'd walk in and it was definitely a design space. And it still is a very much design space in the sense that it's completely opposite what you would say for a Roman trattoria. I think when people go, I'm going to Rome, and they think of these picturesque things, it's dark inside. To me, it has the vibe of a very cool art gallery. And there are these big, beautiful wooden tables that are community tables, correct?
Exactly, yeah. We tried to make
really
something...
high up.
They are very high up. We tried to make something completely different because in Rome, as you said, there are so many traditional things that we wanted to make something different. And I think Rome needed something slightly different just because it's nice to have traditional food. It's nice to have a matriciana, but maybe once in a while it's also nice to have something different.
Well, quick question. You and Alessandro, are both of you from Rome?
No, actually Alessandro is very close to Rome. He is half from Abruzzo and half from Castelli Romani, which is just slightly... Exactly. Now I don't know which half, but I'm 100% from Campania.
Ah, what part?
Okay, but from Salerno. But I was just born there, and I grew up a little in Germany, and then I traveled a lot, and I spent a lot of time in London, New York, Berlin, and then I came back, first Milan, and then Rome.
And I know you guys have both incredible chef experiences. He was with Crippa.
Yeah, he was. Maybe Alessandro has more chef experience. Well, he has more important. Yeah, exactly. But we spent a lot of time. And we invested a lot of time in very high kitchens, and at the end we decided to open up Retrobottega together to join to put together our knowledges and to see what happened.
And so I love this. I love the minute I walked into Retrobottega, I loved it because I had that reaction. Wow, this is not what everybody's expecting. Yeah. So how did this come about? You guys were like, we're done with what people think and we want to make something different?
I think a lot of things happened mainly by chance. When we were looking for a space, we looked, I think, at about 50 or 60 places to see which one was the right one. And at the end, finally, we chose this one here, which is very close to the Pantheon and Piazza Navona. And it's actually something that no one would ever do a restaurant in because it doesn't have a window. It's very tiny, it's very narrow, it's full of arches and every architectonical disadvantage that you can possibly imagine. We have it, okay? And we don't have a regular height, so it's very difficult. And we were very unexperienced at the very beginning. So we thought, it's nice, it's very central, let's take it. But we didn't realize that behind the fact that it was very central, there were many, many handicaps. Sorry for the word, but this was also a challenge, and I think we managed very, very well, and it's great. It's great because it's, as I said, it's a very big challenge. It's not only about food when you make a restaurant. It's about 1,000 things that are included in the restaurant. So you need to think about the license. You need to think about the architectonical things. You need to think seriously 1,000 things. Food is maybe the last thing. Okay, the most romantic aspect.
And maybe the easiest.
Exactly, it is the easiest. At the end of the day, it is the easiest. But and it is the funniest, but unfortunately, it's not only about food.
But I want to talk about food. So why don't we talk a little bit about what you guys are doing in the kitchen?
Yeah,
because you're not, like you said, you're not getting the amatriciana here.
No, we try to be ourselves, to try to express our own identity, and our own identity is a mix of whatever comes from the forage, from the orto, just because the nature gives us something, and we think that we need to use what the nature offers us. So that's why we forage every week, and forage means that half of the stuff on Monday goes to Abruzzo and forages leaves.
So you're going out to Abruzzo for foraging?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
We try to go to Abruzzo as much as we can. In case there is terrible weather, we just stop in the northern part of Lazio, which is slightly closer. And this gives us the chance to make unique dishes. But unique not because we forage, unique because every week the foraging is different. So you never have the same leaves as the week before. That's why we have some unique plates, and they're unique for us as well. And this gives us the chance to be in constant evolution and to never get bored, because obviously you have also different tastes. Every time you taste the dish that you think is the same as the week before, it's actually not the same, it's different. Because you have an explosion of flavor that is completely different to what you experienced the week before. And we try to make dishes that are also 100% from the foraging, like we did for many, many months, the crepinette, which is a pork net. And in the pork net, there is only foraged leaves. So it very much looks like a sausage stuffed with only leaves. And the taste was completely unique every week, and it was incredible how the guests and everyone was experiencing something unique, or something you wouldn't expect, because it's something that you find nowhere. It's just a mix of the terroir, a mix of Abruzzo in a pork net.
You also just reminded me of something. When I was a kid, my zia would come from Rome to visit us. And we lived in the suburbs, a lot of land, and she would make my sisters and I go out and forage. So we would come back and we'd bring back all sorts of leaves, and then she would make this green pasta, usually with dandelion leaves, because she was always looking for cicoria, and there was no cicoria.
Okay, but the taste is very similar, actually.
Yes, I mean it was bitter, and she'd make pasta, she'd make salad, she'd make a crepe that was then filled with. Like, I think it was all, I mean, every day it was different, but it was also, for us, it was always like, we were like, more dandelion leaves. But she was always inventing, and then, you know, my cousins here in Rome, it's the same thing. They live in the country, and so not everything, but a lot of their meals are about foraging. So foraging is a big Italian tradition. It
is very big. And I think every grandmother used to forage, and everyone that has, a little bit of the chance to be in a landscape is a forager. Even in Rome, if you look between the San Pietrini, I'm sure you will find some leaves, and a lot of us don't even think about it because life is sometimes too fast, and you don't stop looking at the details. But between the San Pietrini, I'm 100% sure that you can find little dandelion, or you can find portulaca, or you can find 1,000 other herbs.
So was the foraging part of the objective when you started out, that you knew that you wanted to?
At the very beginning, maybe not. But as everything that we do, we start at some point, and we try to evolve as much as we can. And foraging arrived maybe 1 year after we opened, because we met a guy that actually is an ethnobotanico. Well, I don't know how you say ethnobotanico in English.
I think like ethnobotanico
Yeah,
would be like
he studies leaves.
Yeah, like botany, but ethnobotanico. It's a very specific kind of botanist, let's just say.
Exactly. And he introduced us to this world, and we were fascinated about it. And we said, okay, we need to introduce this to our kitchen.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you guys, in fact, because I've eaten here a few times, and I know that the foraging has, Mondays. For some reason in my head, I view Mondays as foraging for you.
Exactly.
But I didn't realize that it came a little bit after. So this kitchen is all about evolution. It's a constant reinvention, I think.
It is, and like everything in life, you start somewhere and you realize that you can evolve, and you realize that things can change in your life, and so that's what happened with our kitchen. So we started at a certain point, and obviously you start with the energies you have at that point, and your energies they grow, and the people around you become more and more and more, and so with more people you have the chance to do more.
Let's talk about some of your dishes, because your menu is, like you're saying, with the foraging, but you might be making the same dish, but it'll always taste different.
Yes.
If you were to, but you're not always making the same dishes.
No. I was saying this because we change menu every 2 months, and we change the menu completely. We have 20 dishes in the menu, which are from the antipasti to the dessert. And changing those dishes means, for us, a lot of work, but for the guests, more experience. If you come after 2 months, you find a completely different menu. And what I was saying before is that if you come more than once in the 2 months, you have the chance to taste a different taste, just because the leaves change, but the plate is the same.
So what kind of dishes? So just to give the readers an idea of what kind of dish, what kind of dishes to expect right now, for example.
Well, now we're entering in a winter season, so
readers, listeners, sorry.
Okay. In a winter season, I don't know when you're going to listen this, but at the moment we're going we're going to be in a winter season, and this means for us that a lot of cabbages, broccoli, and cauliflowers, and all this winter vegetable world is coming in, and the foraging means that we have the chance to forage for a few more months. When it's too cold, unfortunately, leaves don't come out. As people know, when it's too cold, you prefer to stay home.
It's like root dishes?
Mainly root dishes, because a lot of root vegetables grow underneath the earth. And also during the foraging, you have the chance to find a lot of root things. And this is going to be the menu, which is changing actually in a few days.
So now I'm going to get a little bit more vague, because I think people, when they think of coming to Rome, they do think of the traditional pastas and the traditional meats. Are your recipes remotely based on traditional dishes? How would you describe your kind of cuisine?
Well, I think everyone and every kitchen in Italy is based on tradition. You have a starting point which is tradition. So, for instance, we make fresh pasta. We have a pasta lab next door. We sell fresh pasta, and we serve fresh pasta there, but we serve the fresh pasta also in the restaurant, which means we have a traditional aspect. But obviously, it doesn't mean
I could have tagliatelle or tortellini.
Yeah, you can have
here.
Tortellini here, but it doesn't mean having tortellini at Retrobottega means that the shape is traditional, the aspect is traditional, the tastes maybe, the texture is traditional, but the filling might be different, and we might fill it with a pesto of wild aromatic herbs that we forage on our own. And so you have a traditional aspect combined with our own identity.
And I know, because I think I've had polipo, octopus, grilled octopus here. I think I've eaten pigeon here.
Yeah, pigeon is one of the dishes that we have every time. And we like the texture of the meat, we like the cooking. And also there we try to experiment starting from a traditional cooking, which is very classical French maybe. We try to find our own identity in cooking the pigeon. And every time we glaze the pigeon, or the skin of the pigeon with a syrup, and the syrup is made out of fruits that we forage on our own. So I don't know, wild juniper, and we made a syrup of wild juniper, and with this wild juniper syrup we glaze the pigeon and we cook it in the oven. So that's why every single dish that is served here in our restaurant has our forged identity. So it's something that is unique, but not because we're just, I don't know, some geniuses or whatever. we're just normal people, and we like to give an identity to every dish that we serve.
You guys are definitely just normal people. You're really friendly. There are about 12 people in the kitchen, 22 in the staff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that, the times that I've eaten here, what I love is that, well, I'm very talkative.
Yes.
But everybody talks to me, and what I find amazing is you're having a nice dialogue because the kitchen is exposed and open. So I've sat at the bar part, which I liked because you're talking directly to everyone who's plating and making, and you're also talking to the guests because it's very, very. What do you call it? Not communal, but it's very
interactive. Yeah, you have the chance, as you said, to talk to the staff, but it's true that the restaurant is comfortable, but everyone sits very close to. It's very narrow. It's very, in Italian you would say intimo. You're everyone is very close together.
Cozy.
It's cozy, exactly. If you want, you have also the chance to try to communicate with other guests and to share the experience.
Which is what I love, because it feels. I think it's funny because it's like I said before. To me, this has the design, this kind of dark gray, black almost. It has this, and it's very intimate in here, and it feels very artsy. But then but it's not intimidating. You're talking to everybody.
No, I think that's the most important part. It's true that kitchen is very important and food is very important. But at the same time, I think that food maybe is the 30% of the experience you have anywhere in the restaurant. The rest is the ambience, is the people that you have around, is the music, is the servers, the wine. So it's the whole experience is something that is combined of many aspects, not only food. So food is very important, is one of the most important aspects, but it's not the only aspect. I think you will forgive if there is not enough salt in a plate. Okay, but if everything was perfect, you enjoyed the music, you were with your husband, you had a lovely time with your husband, and the servers were nice, the wine was nice, everything was okay, but maybe you say, okay, there is just a little, I would have put more salt in the dish, okay? I think it's forgivable, but if everything was completely a disaster, okay, you didn't enjoy the night, the food was okay, but and at the end you said, okay, and last thing, there was not enough salt. You would experience it as a terrible thing, okay?
Exactly.
So I think food is important, but the whole atmosphere and everything, but not only here with us. I think everything you do in the world, even if you're in the post office and you're waiting in line to be served for I don't know, for paying your bill, and it's an experience. If in the post office there is a nice music, and as soon as it's your turn, you're welcomed nicely, and everything is fast, it's a nice experience. Everywhere, everything you do needs to be or can be done in a nice way or in a bad way. And I personally think that in a nice way, it's better. It's nicer. Everyone enjoys it more.
Well, I think you guys also managed to throw in a lot of fun this summer. Are you still doing the 20 bites?
Yes.
Okay,
And now, when you came and you had the 20 bites, it was at the very beginning. Now I think things changed. I think we managed to make it a bit nicer. So
well, let's first talk about it. I mean, the whole reason why I came for 20 bites is because the design. So I received this little invitation and it said 20 bites Retrobottega. So already Retrobottega, I was like, ooh, I'm curious. But then you had the Pac-Man. It was Pac-Man eating.
Yeah.
And I thought, I have to eat there because I love Pac-Man. And that looks so funny. So let's talk a little bit about what 20 bites is.
20 bites is gives you the chance, since we changed the menu every 2 months, and maybe you don't have the chance to come and visit us at the restaurant for more than one time every 2 months. 20 bites gives you the chance to eat the whole menu in one shot. So it means you have a seat, and we start from the very first antipasti to the last dessert, okay, which are 20 courses, and you eat them all in a very tiny little version.
And they're paired with...
Yeah, exactly. If you're happy to do that, or if the guests are happy to do that and trust us on the wine, we pair them with not only wine, but with drinks in general.
So I think we had, did we have kombucha?
Yeah, you had kombucha, and kombucha is something we do always. We have always a kombucha in-house. And kombucha is, I personally think, a nice way to reset your palate, because it's something that cleans your palate and gives you a very fresh taste. And we usually serve kombucha at the very beginning to every guest that sits down to reset their palate. Okay, it's a welcome from our side to someone to refresh the palate. And after the kombucha, you can start with whatever you want, because I think it's a nice way to give a welcome. It's something that shows you that we care about you and that we are happy that you came to visit us. And I think as Italians, we are a population that is very grateful, that is very welcoming. And we don't need to forget about it. We need to be welcoming with everyone. And
now let's talk about a new endeavor that I'm so excited to test out. And actually now I was thinking about dinner tonight, and now I thought...
yeah, you should come tonight for
that's what I'm thinking. So Giuseppe was saying, so we're sitting here in Retrobottega.
Yes.
Next door is RetroPasta.
Yes.
Which is the pasta lab where I think you said 10 people, you can have lunch.
Yeah, Pasta Lab is just for lunch, and you can have a seat, 10 people, and you eat the pastas that we make. You choose the portion, and the portions are per gram.
Oh, so I could be like unetto.
Yes, exactly. You say, I would like, and there we are very traditional. So you eat cacio e pepe, you eat matriciana, you eat ravioli, ricotta e spinaci, cioè very, very traditional Italian fresh pasta dishes that are served in a very simple, traditional way. And you can eat as much as you want, because you say how many grams and how many portions. And this works only for lunch, which is for us very nice, because we serve a lot of people that work around us. And if someone wants to eat at Retrobottega but would like to have something very traditional, that's the place where you can have it.
And I love the idea that I feel like my zio, I have to take my zio there, because he's the kind of man that knows exactly how many etti of pasta and which pasta when he wants it.
Exactly.
Now, you just opened, which is what I'm going to have to test out this week.
Yeah. RetroVino.
RetroVino. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, Giuseppe told me, I just took a quick walk through. It's a beautiful little spot lined with wine bottles. Again, it looks like an art gallery yet again. But I thought it was so funny when I said, okay, what kind of wines? Are they natural? And you said, wines, we serve natural and...
Now we serve we serve one type of wine. I think in the world.
Say it, please. I love this.
In the world there is two types of wine. For my point of view, obviously, one is good wine and one is bad wine, and we try to serve only good wine. So we buy only good wine that we think is good. The wine that we don't like, it's not bought by us, so you cannot find it. I think that's the way to see it, and there is no distinguishment between natural and non-natural, just because that's my point of view. Obviously, don't take it too serious, but natural doesn't mean anything. And natural, everything is natural, and everything is non-natural, because natural is just the grape, and you can be natural in producing the wine, but once you put it in the bottle, it's not a natural thing; it's a mechanical thing. Okay, and but it's, as I said, my point of view, and I love to drink a lot of wine, and I love the wine that we serve, and some of them are a bit extreme. Okay, a bit unconventional,
like
and
what?
Some are more conventional. For example, looking at the list that we have at the moment, between the sparklings, Paltrinieri. We are in Emilia-Romagna. And I know you have been to Modena recently.
It's a Lambrusco?
Yeah, it's a Lambrusco from Sorbara, but it's a Lambrusco vinified in white, so it has a rosé color, sparkling, and it's beautiful for an aperitivo. And I like it a lot. Then we have Metodo Classico Casa Caterina, which is in the Franciacorta area, but they don't follow the disciplinary of Franciacorta, which is absolutely beautiful. It's a Pinot Meunier and Pinot Nero with the 36 months on the yeasts. And for example, we have between the whites a lot of interest. We have Dario Princic from Friuli, which does a little maturation, no? A little skin contact. So it's an orange wine, very very nice. Tenuta Dettori, which is a Renosu. His Renosu. It's a Vermentino and Moscato di Sennori, the two grape varieties of this wine, and all these ones are classified and can be classified as natural, but I like to call them good wines, wines that I love to drink.
How many? I know. So this is your wine list, your glass.
This is by the glass. At the moment, we have 25 options by the glass.
And does this change every 2 months as well?
No, faster. This changes every week, more or less, because we buy. Obviously, these are quantities. These are wines that they don't produce a mass. They don't have a mass production.
Okay.
They're all little wine productions, and that's why we have them maybe for a few weeks, and then we change it, and that's the nice thing. Whenever you come for a glass, you always find new things, and I think that's the most important thing.
Is it open every day of the week?
Yes, every day, and it follows the restaurant. So from midday until 2:00 in the night. Well, the restaurant closes slightly earlier. But you can have a drink until 2:00 in the night.
Now tell me a little bit about the menu, because I just took a quick look and...
So the main focus is wine, obviously, because it's a wine bar. But only wine is maybe a bit too much. You need something to eat just to drink more. And we have selezione di salumi and selezione di formaggi, which are a must-have in a wine bar. And besides that, we have still our foraging, and we put our foraging under oil and under vinegar. So you have some preserved pickles and some preserved selection of marinated vegetables, and at the same time we have about 10 small plates, tapas style, which we serve. Well, actually, no, tapas maybe is they're slightly bigger. So with 2 of these dishes, I think you should be fine.
I could eat all of these dishes.
Yeah, you should. Tonight with your husband, you should eat them all.
I'll eat every single one. He will not eat the lingua, but I will. And I will have that pastrami sandwich. Yeah. Which when you had me at pastrami, I love
pastrami. I used to live in New York, and I think in New York there are so many nice places, and especially Katz is one of the places I like the most. And I said to Alessandro, if we open a wine bar, we need to have pastrami. If we don't have pastrami, I won't open the bar.
Where are you getting your pastrami from?
No, we make it in-house.
You guys are making it?
Yeah, we try to. I think it's a nice pastrami. Obviously, I don't know. Let's say come and visit us so you can tell us if the pastrami is okay or not.
You are a man after my own stomach, because if I were to open anything, I have to have a pastrami sandwich. Whether it's a wine bar or an art gallery, there always has to be a pastrami sandwich.
Pastrami is a must. Without pastrami sandwich, the world would be a terrible place.
It would be a terrible, terrible place. Well, Giuseppe, I just have a few other questions for you. And
yeah,
they're pretty easy. The first question is simply, I feel like there's a little bit of a movement going on in Rome, a little bit, with these new, I would say, almost conceptual restaurants that are pushing or changing how people feel about, or what people think about Rome restaurants. How do you feel about that? Do you think that there has been a little bit change in Rome, or
there has been a lot in Rome, and I'm very happy about it, because I think that traditional places are absolutely amazing, but it is nice, and it should be something. I don't know. Mi sono incastrato. No, I think it's important to have things that are slightly different to traditional trattorias. Everything that you do, you should do it with passion. And if your identity and if you yourself you don't feel like opening another trattoria, then you should open something that makes you feel okay, that makes you feel right, and that makes you happy with what you're serving. Obviously, there are so many difficult aspects about opening a restaurant, and that's why I think it's. Many young guys don't open a restaurant because it's hard. It's too difficult to open in Rome. It's nearly impossible because the bureaucracy is endless.
Well, it's a good thing you guys are so young.
And I invite a lot of people to do it because the city center of Rome needs it, and the city center at the moment is experiencing una crisi, a recession. There are so many empty spaces, and I think with some nice, fresh minds, Rome could be an amazing place in the world, and we need to work for that because Rome is a very important city, and it is nice that we have so many historical sites, but we cannot live only about the historical sites. We need to make some new things. We need to tell our own new history, not only about the Colosseo, and which is amazing. I love it.
I think you're absolutely right, because I think what a lot of people forget when they come to Rome is they forget that Rome is a living city. It's not just its past. It's a contemporary city.
No, it is a contemporary city, and we should treat Rome like a contemporary city. Rome should be similar to London. Rome should be similar to every big city around the world, every capital in the world. So Rome should be a modern capital city.
Can I ask you if you had 2 or 3 favorite things to do in Rome when you have friends? Because you're from Salerno.
Yeah.
When your friends come here, what do you think? What if you have 2 or 3 favorite things to do or eat in Rome? What would they be?
Oh, 2 or 3 maybe are not enough.
Okay.
But I would say 100% you should go and eat probably roscioli and anything of roscioli. It's my absolute favorite place in Rome, eating wise. Otherwise, I love. It's a tough question. Let me think 2 seconds. Let me think 2 seconds.
I'll just look at the painting behind you. No, I know there's so much here, and it's interesting because I think you have such a great appreciation for this city, and when you opened in this particular neighborhood, there's the Caravaggio down the street, the Pantheon, the Piazza Navona. And I was like, I can't believe this kind of restaurant opened in this area that usually relies on its historic tourism, or its art. It's so heavy with culture, but culture from 500 years ago, 400 years ago. And that's great. And this is my neighborhood. I live in this neighborhood. But I was like, yes, this is something contemporary, something that's showing not just the beautiful patrimony of the city, but the way the city, like the present pulse of the city. You've captured a bit of it, which is really great.
Okay, no, I completely agree. I was listening to you, but I was thinking the other 2 things that I should say.
That's what you were doing. I was just chatting.
So as I said, while you were speaking, I was thinking about it, and I think roscioli stays at number 1. Okay. I think definitely you should do a scooter tour, but by renting your own scooter, because I think it's an amazing experience to try to navigate in the traffic of Rome, which is sometimes unbelievable because it's stressful, but it's a very nice experience. And I think you should go and have a look at the football match, which is also a very nice aspect.
Ma sei romanista?
Io sono romanista. If I need to choose, then yeah, probably romanista.
Good answer. Very, very good answer.
And so, since it's a city with two rival teams, it's an amazing experience.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly on all 3, except instead of a scooter, I ride a bicycle because I'm helpless on a scooter. I always get distracted.
Well, which is also a big experience.
Exactly.
On the San Pietrini, a bicycle, it's
a lot
tough.
of fun. Yeah,
it's a lot of workout.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
No,
I
thank
love
you.
talking with you, and I can't wait to try RetroVino.
I will wait for you for RetroVino, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ciao Bella. If you'd like to know more about today's guest, please visit ciaobella.co and click on the podcast link, or go directly to ciaobella.co/podcast. Want more Italy? You can find all my episodes on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher. When you have time, subscribe to iTunes and rate the podcast. What are you waiting for? And if you want to be part of the podcast, email me or DM me your Italy questions. To learn more about me and my work, go to my website, ericafirpo.com, and follow my Italy adventures on Instagram at ericafirpo. Ciao, Bella! And a very big thank you and hug to Massimiliano Yonta and Disc to Disc Studios, the producers of Ciao Bella, who continue to make me sound and feel great.